Oh, okay, awesome.
Any Frux.
Okay, awesome.
Are we streaming?
What just
Any
happened?
Frux.
I spent 4,000 on a PC and he freezes in the most important moment. I love it.
What just happened? That was-
I spent 4,000 on a PC.
Please tell me we're live, Justin. Please tell. Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
Rob.
welcome to the High School Backups podcast. I have no idea what episode this is. My guess is 41.
38.
38.
38.
38? God, it feels like an eternity, but we've been enjoying every eternity. So
You missed one, didn't you? Just one?
I just missed last week, yeah, because
No,
this is in
Nick
the
has
process
missed
of being built.
Nick has missed a decent. Oh wait, just one.
No,
in a
but I'm
row.
saying,
No.
like-
Whoa, I missed 5 total. I've counted.
No, but I'm saying like you only missed one in a row, so the fact that you thought it was like 3 ahead is funny.
Dude, I don't know, man. Okay, anyways, we are here today to talk all things of why the Eagles are not frauds, no matter what
They are
Jake says.
absolute.
They are frauds.
And furthermore, a little
That's a
bit more
joke.
about why the Bruins and the Celtics are each selectively their best team in their league. So that is what we're going to be doing today.
I'll take it.
I'm going to actually take a second. Actually, if Jake, you want to start with college football news, I'm going to rewatch myself freezing because it couldn't have been more perfect.
No, honestly, not much to go over. We'll have college football recap segments on Mondays. This week we didn't get an episode up. That'll be up next Monday. My bad. But honestly, very quickly, Tennessee gets back in the win column after getting embarrassed by Georgia. Top 4 stays the same: Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and TCU. LSU has jumped up to number 6. USC has jumped up to number 7 with Oregon and UCLA both taking fat L's. Washington jumping up 10 spots to 15 after giving Oregon a fat L. And that's really about it. USC's college football playoffs hope are still alive, and I couldn't be more happy about it. That's all I have to say.
TCU, baby, let's roll.
My biggest hope is that it's like Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and USC. That is my biggest hope.
It's Ohio and Michigan this week, isn't it?
Next week, I think they play
Next week?
last
Oh, that's
regular
right. I
season
think
game
you're
of the
right.
year. But they play cupcake teams this week. They should go. They should go into that game both undefeated.
I'm a big fan of cupcakes. I mean, cupcake team.
We can tell, Nick. We can tell.
Whoa!
Got
Are
it.
you serious? I swear to God, you're lucky you're inviting me to your wedding. I swear to God.
Everybody here did get an invite to that.
Or will get an invite. Will get
Yeah,
an
will get
invite.
an
This is
invite.
very recent news. Point being, Jake's being a meanie face, as I have to
Yeah,
say
I'm being
it
a
for
fuck
children.
today. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
on one.
Anyways,
Oh my
I love
I
it,
now
love
am
it, I
going
love
to
it.
choose to disagree with every one of Jake's takes for the rest of the day. So,
I don't think you will when we get to the hockey stuff anyway. It's going to be fine.
well, nope, Bruins suck. They're awful. Worst team in the league.
I agree.
No, I
I
got-
agree.
Oh,
I
no,
agree.
Kyle, I didn't
Wait,
say
wait.
Rangers, okay?
Can I
Get
just
out of
get Nick
here.
to turn
Nick,
on
what's
Austin?
worse, agreeing with Kyle or disagreeing with Jake? You're really gonna have to like.
Well,
No, the
disagreeing
worst
with
is
Jake
agreeing
isn't
with,
that bad because we have good conversations. Agreeing with Kyle means I'm probably in an insane asylum, so we need to work on
Guys, so
I'm
on
just
the
kidding.
episode
I'm
where
just
Nick
kidding.
gets
I'm just
admitted to
kidding. We
an
make
insane
fat jokes and crazy jokes. We're out here. We're having a good start to the pod. Yeah.
We just-
So yeah, the NCAA. Well, the top 25 rankings just happened again, but the actual rankings. So that's interesting. So, anyways, college football's been crazy. USC might have a chance to get into the playoff. I can't wait for the 12-team playoff in a couple of years because that would be more fun this year than any year so far.
Yes.
But that would be a good time. So next subject, because college football is crazy, we talked about that all day. Although once the college football playoff happens, I do think we will do a big special that we'll talk about it, or a big piece of our stuff we'll be talking about.
absolutely.
So, let's talk a little bit about how Austin's gonna eat some giant burritos. So
Enchiladas.
it's gonna be
Yeah,
just
let's
like
go.
pizza. It's gonna be just like pizza. Wow, we all just
Oh,
living good around these
man.
parts, huh? So, anyways. What's the first subject I want to talk about? MLB sucks right now because it's not really happening. After one, nobody wants to talk about it.
Oh, Kyle's frozen.
I mean,
Yeah, but that happens every
Yeah.
week. That's not new.
let's
Yeah,
hit
it
the,
usually
let's
does.
hit the let's hit the NBA first because it'll be quicker than the other two.
Yes, NBA Celtics best team in the league statistically
Facts.
and actually.
Okay.
So- We're live. Okay, we're back. Okay, well that was great. We're gonna combine this, and it's gonna look seamless.
Yeah, we're back.
Wow, we're back.
Whoa.
Still get to
Anyways,
see Nick's
Nothing
Uh,
happened.
nothing happened except for Austin's continued to burn his mouth. So we're just chilling and having a good time. So we're talking NBA. The real short version is go Dame and go Dame time in the Portland Trailblazers. And furthermore, go the Jazz because the Jazz absolutely horked on or are currently horking on the NBA in every way. They have all the draft picks for the next 6 years or 10 years or whatever, and they're still winning. So it never truly ends over there. Danny Ainge.
No, it's a great year for them.
I love Danny Ainge, dude.
Yeah. So now that we're back having a good time, that's really it for the NBA. There's really not much going on. Celtics are statistically the best team in the league, have the best record. Let's move on to let's do NHL last, actually. Because I think, actually, you know what? We're going to do NFL last because I have a backup if we have some more time. So, NHL. We're going to get some that Kyle would like to do that he brought up to us that we would love to join him in. As for the first piece, the Bruins are, wait for it, just like the Celtics, the best statistic and record-wise team in the NHL. That is not to be denied. And the Rangers, as much as I love Kyle, are in the dumpster fire category right about now for a team that should be good. So
for a team he said had 3 top 20 players in the NHL.
They do. And to be fair, they were in the same exact spot at last year that they are currently. So I am not worried. They did fine last year. They made it. They were 2 games shy of making it to the Stanley Cup final. So I am not worried yet. I'm going to emphasize yet because it can get worse in a hurry if this doesn't continue. I'm not
all I'm gonna say, Kyle, is
What?
that everything is right with the world when your team sucks. Just
that
sounds about
other
right.
than the Yankees.
Yeah, I was about to say that's messed up. That's like self-pain right there. Kyle, I have a question. Kyle, you made a very bold point to say in our group chat saying that the Bruins aren't real until we're about 35 games through the season. And they keep up this sort of pathway here. So my question to you, they are currently halfway to that point, right? 36, or they're currently, 16 games in. That'll equate to about 32. Obviously, one more game will be the actual halfway point, or so. If they are currently 14-2, how many losses can they have where you consider them the real deal for what they're doing now? Do they have to double exactly where they are now?
You mean wins? You mean wins?
I mean, like, no, I mean losses. Like, how many losses are you okay with them having where you're still like, okay, they are the real deal as top 5, top 3 in the NHL?
In December?
That 35. So if they've played 35 games, how many losses in 35 games are they still, in your mind, considered to be a top 5, top 3, even the best team in the league?
10 or less.
Yo,
10
hold up.
or less.
At 35
Hold
games.
up, guys. I hate to change this real quick. We just got a question in the chat.
What?
So he's talking to Austin. It's a guy named Cameron. Yo, Austin.
My boy Cam.
I got offered this trade today. Fields, Hopkins, and Eckler for Etienne and Jefferson.
Whoa.
My other QB is Hurts. Should I take it?
Whoa, there's some more information here. Etienne is on bye this week. Important note. Get Foreman, then trade him for Etienne when he's off bye. So this week I get Foreman and trade him for Etienne when he's off bye. So this week he would replace Etienne
with Eckler.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's pretty damn good.
Eckler, who is probably the number 1 back in that league. I think he's number 1 back across all leagues.
Yeah.
Yes.
You get Hopkins, who's performing not as well as Jefferson, but he's a good substitute if you have to have him. And then
I have a bold take.
You also get Fields.
No, he trades away Fields.
Oh, all right.
I think, Kim, and this is a hot take, I think that you switch Fields for Jalen Hurts and you trade away Jalen Hurts. So Jalen Hurts, DeAndre Hopkins, and Eckler for Etienne and Jefferson. That is my thing because I genuinely think that Justin Fields has a higher fantasy football value at this point for the remaining of the season than Jalen Hurts. I think that Fields has played extremely well. In fact, I think better than Jalen Hurts. And last night was scary for me.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, wait. If he's, I just realized I read it wrong. If he's trading away Fields, Hopkins, and Eckler, I wouldn't do it because he's actually getting Etienne and Jefferson.
I don't think
he is essentially trading his backup quarterback, right? His backup quarterback.
Yeah, he's switching Fields for Hurts.
He's switching Jefferson for Hopkins, which is a slight upgrade. And he's switching Eckler for Etienne, which in my mind is almost even. especially once Keenan Allen and Mike Williams come back. Eckler is still important, but he's just as important as Etienne. So,
Well, what's Etienne's past like 4 weeks?
30, 30, and then 9.
Here's the thing about keeping Justin Fields though. If Cam makes the playoffs, that's talking about playing the Eagles, the Bills, and the Lions going into the playoffs.
the Lions are
Besides the Lions, no, I'm saying that's who we would be playing. So besides the Lions, that should be a fairly good matchup for Justin Fields. But playing the Eagles and the Bills in the playoffs, that's not an easy
Who are the
matchup
Well,
to
first of all,
rely
can
on.
you look up who the Eagles are playing? Because that's
Sure.
all.
Yo,
Well, one
Cam,
of them
what's
was
the
the
rest of your
Bears.
roster too? Like, who else do you have on the team? I feel
Listen,
like that changes for me.
on face, I would say no to that trade.
On face, I would say no, only because even though Justin Fields has had an incredible couple of weeks, the playoffs especially is definitely going to make things really tough for him because Eagles are a great, depending if they're able to get, is it Fletcher Cox who's injured? If they get him back and they're able to get their run defense, then they're going to bottle him up. And then the Bills, this is a team the Bills would swipe. I'm sorry, but this is a team the Bills would destroy.
And in the playoffs, Jalen Hurts is playing the Bears, the Cowboys, and the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys and Saints are tough matchups for.
Not for Jalen Hurts. I
think so.
I think the Cowboys would be only because it's a division matchup, but I don't think the Saints.
I also
The
think
Saints'
Cowboys have
defense
one of
has
the
been
best
fine. Their
defenses
offense has been awful.
I think the Cowboys' defense is one of the best in the league, and I think the Saints is top 10 as well. So
Are they?
I think
Yes.
that's a sucky matchup. And in my mind, Jalen Hurts showed, although he had a good sort of end of game last night, he had, a 12 or 16 fantasy points in the first half in our league, which is like for him not good. Like it is not good. He ended with 36 off of a few garbage time.
No, he had 19 points at half. I checked. He had 19 points at half.
Okay,
well,
still not great for our league.
It's still
Yeah.
not ideal for what we're looking for because usually good quarterbacks are around 40 at the end of the game. So usually we're talking they're in a better spot. I don't know. I like Justin Jefferson, and you're talking your backup. I realistically think that Jalen Hurts, it hurts a little bit. I know I don't mean to make the pun.
No, on face, I'm saying no to that trade. I'm just gonna.
I am also saying no to that trade.
I am saying no to that trade
The
too.
rest of his team is Pollard, Fournette, Pickens, Moore. Wait, is that DJ Moore or Rondale Moore?
I'm gonna assume that's DJ.
That's what I'm assuming too. Because why would you have him if you have Hopkins? But you never know. Hawkinson, Connor, and
Pacheco.
I don't even know how to. Pacheco, is that how we say
Yeah,
it?
Isaiah Pacheco.
Isaiah Pacheco.
So I like Hawkinson. Hawkinson's going to be really good the rest of the season. I mean, the Vikings are going to look his way. Kirk Cousins loves him as an outlet.
He had a good game this week. Like even though he
Yeah.
didn't hit any
was
bonuses or any
wild.
touchdowns, he had a good game.
Yeah.
Or did he have a touchdown? He did have a touchdown.
No, he
No, he
didn't.
didn't.
No,
I wish
he had like
17
80
points. So I was
receiving.
like,
Yeah, he
that's
was
hype, though.
6 or 7 for like 50 yards or something like that. So he still had a good game. I think he had like 50.
Yeah, the
Either way.
consensus is essentially 4 or 5 of us have said no. I think yes. I think you could get a little bit more, to be honest. If you're adding Justin Fields or Jalen Hurts, you might be able to upgrade one of those other wide receiver or running back spots.
I think it also depends for me on whether or not this is keeper league too. Like, there's a lot of things that play. Like, what's
this
your
is
record?
keeper league. You
Your
100%
keeper league.
take that.
I'm definitely doing that. If this is keeper league, because either way, I don't think it hurts you that much. But if it's keeper, I want Etienne and I want Jefferson by far.
And you get to keep either Justin Fields or Jalen Hurts.
Well,
to be
no,
honest, maybe-
you get to keep either one of them. You're right.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so it
my
depends
bad.
on what your keeper league works and how it works, if it is a keeper league. At the end of the day, it seems like most people are saying no. I will go with the consensus here. Probably don't do it. You might be able to get more. Even if you throw Jalen Hurts, to be honest, and you keep Justin Fields, you might be able to like eke out some more value because they're overvaluing him. In my mind, they have the same value.
So he just texted me. He said it's a. He sent me pictures of the squad. Then he said it's a. He's in a five-way tie for last playoff spot. It's a no keeper league and it's a 0.5 PPR.
No, I'm not taking that.
No, don't take it.
I don't think. Yeah.
No, your team is much more. Your team is. If you make that trade, your team is going to compete less in the long run.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe throw a counter out there. I like your idea of giving up that quarterback for a lot of extra value. The problem is that is Justin Jefferson enough of a plus to lose Fields or Hurts. And then Etienne could be better, could be worse than Austin Eckler. We don't really know. So
I think
Yeah.
Eckler's going to stay better the rest of this season since it's not a keeper. I don't want Etienne, and then
Yeah.
Jefferson's great, but I don't think he's going to play that much better than him the rest of the way to give up those two.
No,
Well,
it's
Kyler Murray's been questionable.
D-Hop, since he's been back, has still been a 20-point per game guy, though. Like, he's been very,
Yeah.
very productive. I don't think you make it up in the difference between Etienne and Eckler. I just don't think you do.
Yeah,
no, it's really
Plus, you're giving up a quarterback.
right.
Yeah.
He's giving up that quarterback who potentially going the rest of the way he's looking right now, is going to rush for 100 yards a game. Even
That's
Jalen
what I'm
Hurts isn't
saying.
doing
Like,
that,
that's
but-
a lot of points, like, that just to give up. So,
Yeah, but
Um,
Justin Fields running a lot. I'll get into that in my tiers of why I don't like that, but that's okay.
Okay,
I mean, to be
sorry,
honest, he's making it
Yeah.
work.
sorry to interrupt
I-
us all, boys. I know we're talking
Yes.
NHL, but I saw that in the chat.
No,
I
you're
jumped in
good.
there.
Yeah, no,
that's
you're good.
That's good stuff. And Cam, if you are still listening, if you have any counters, throw them in the chat or just text Austin, and we will talk about counters. But I think you get a lot more value for Fields as a part. Like, honestly, Hopkins Etienne is almost a wash. I think Jefferson's better than Hopkins by a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But Fields' value is like triple what that value is, the difference in Justin Jefferson and Hopkins, even if he's
Yeah.
your backup. It's not that much of an upgrade, especially with Eckler being similar, if not slightly better than Etienne. So,
Mhm.
he said
anyways,
he said he's going to decline it.
good,
Good.
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 Feel free to look at some
Big brain
possible returns though.
No, if
You never know
you
until you try.
have a pass catching running back, just keep him. That's going to help you
Well,
out so
Etienne's
much.
also a pass.
Yeah,
catching
Etienne
running
does it
back.
all, dude.
Yeah.
So
He's
it's
like-
the
Yeah,
same
I-
thing with Austin Eckler. It really
Yeah,
is.
but Steve, at a half PPR though, does that really sway
It still
the-
matters. It still
Ooh.
matters.
It matters. No, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm saying does it sway too much where you should automatically keep it? If it's not necessarily a pass catching league, I don't think it fully matters as much as Steve was implying it to me.
That's
Yeah,
true, because in our league, it's
that's a
pass
full
catchers
PPR.
definitely have pass catching
Yeah,
has a
Our
lot more
league is
value. So I
dominated
think
by quarterback play, and you can't even convince me otherwise.
Quarterback
it's a
and then
full
Yeah.
PPR
league-
running backs.
If it's a
Yeah.
full PPR league, then I 100% agree with Steve that you keep a pass catching running back. But if it's not, try and get the better value for a pure running back, isn't like Dalvin Cook or Saquon.
I also want to point out something, Jake. Kyle is winning with Kirk Cousins, so I don't want to.
Kirk Cousins is a good fantasy quarterback.
Yeah,
He is a good
yeah,
fantasy
he's a
quarterback.
He's a decently.
Well,
decent-
Kyle also
Kyle,
got some
what-
pretty lucky ass trades to
Kyle-
get a pretty decent, damn good team. I don't
I'm
want to
done.
hear it.
What?
I'm gonna
What?
complain about fantasy a little
Kyle's
bit.
team
Trust
is also
me. It's just-
stacked.
yes.
It's
You know he's
fucking
projected
ridiculous.
almost 200 points this week. You know,
Also,
200
okay,
points is
you know,
like insane.
I want to, especially right now with us not having the two quarterback league. Like in the past, 200 was nothing. If you
Nothing.
weren't scoring 200, you were winning. But I want to say I am annoyed at every single one of you that made a trade with Kyle to make me overpowered.
Yes.
You guys
No,
are
I-
Whoa, whoa,
Bro,
whoa,
I
wait.
got
Hold
shit on for making a
Hold on.
trade with Justin that
Hold
was
on.
so even. I can't even believe it 3 weeks later.
I gave
Everyone-
nothing to Kyle. I want to clarify.
At the time I made those trades, what I gave them was insanely equal value to what I was receiving. From
Yeah, no, you
everyone that I
made you
traded.
made
I
I
didn't say
can't
they were
predict the
equal.
future.
I'm just saying
No,
I'm mad at people for trading with you because now you're.
But they got equal. But they got equal trade. Like
I don't
can't
think I gave
predict
him
the
anything.
future.
No,
we did a
these
small
trades-
trade, Jake. We did something.
You have to
small.
trade. No,
Yeah,
you have to trade
small.
with Kyle the way I do, which is I give him a player who's going on the IR and then he doesn't even get to play because they traded with McCaffrey.
Yeah.
That makes him bad. I'm the person
Yeah.
who wins the trades.
My only point is I'm looking at this real quick. So Kyle drafted. Do you draft Joe Burrow? No, you traded
No.
for everyone in your goddamn.
Literally.
No,
literally.
Yeah.
I did
This
not
is
trade
what-
for Saquon.
No,
I
he
did
not for Saquon.
You did not
I
trade
did-
for Saquon.
I
but
drafted
you
Saquon.
traded
I
for
don't give a
draft-
fuck, Kyle.
Hold on,
traded
I
for
drafted.
Dalvin Cook.
No, I originally drafted him, traded him, and then traded for him back because I'm just a fucking genius. That's why. Dalvin Cook. I drafted Dalvin Cook. I drafted Saquon. I drafted.
I want you to
Travis
know the
Kelce.
worst trade on here is your Stephon Diggs trade, and you can't tell me it was equal even at the time you did it, because it was Stephon Diggs and Tony Pollard for DJ Moore, Jawan Dotson, and Elijah Mitchell, who was hurt.
Yes.
Yes.
I
No,
said
that
it.
is a trade.
What
Every,
trade-
any
who traded
point of
that
the
to
week,
you?
would.
Andrew.
Who do you think it was?
And no, to be,
Bro.
the point value was equal, not necessarily the future value.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
I
No,
hate
this
when you
is-
do
Oh,
Alright.
that.
listen.
Hold on a
Every-
minute. Hold on a minute.
I
Hold on.
wasn't the
Let-
one
let-
that offered it. I was
Hold
not
on.
the one that offered
I'm
it.
not
Hold
mad
on
at
a minute.
Kyle.
Hold on. You vetoed my trade for Kyler Murray, and you
I did
didn't
not.
veto that?
I
I
didn't
stopped
veto.
vetoing because people got mad, so I stopped.
I didn't veto, Jake. Hold up.
No. I came to the conclusion. I was like, whatever. We're not gonna keep having this argument over like
So mad.
Vetoing and stuff.
the vetoing and stuff. So I just said, well, hey, how about this? If people are smart enough to swindle somebody, whatever. Screw it. I don't even care.
same. I don't
But
care.
Kyle,
I don't care. I'm just
Yeah, it was
around
offered
my
to
I'm
you,
just
Kyle.
gonna
I
give
saw-
Kyle $20 already. I'm just gonna give it to him now. Like it's already over. Like he's scoring 50
It's
more
not-
points than
Hey,
everyone
we
every
we
week.
thought that
keep
was
saying it,
we
Nick.
thought that was
Tim,
Steve last
Kyle,
year.
I
It's
guarantee
okay.
you Kyle's gonna win. He's gonna sweep the rest of us. Guarantee you it's gonna happen. This is
Okay.
what Kyle did. All right, this is what Kyle
Okay.
did, guys. For all you listeners, if you guys want to know, early trades at the beginning of the season are the best things you can possibly do. A lot of these trades Kyle did are probably in the first quarter, maybe third of the season, where they're still trying to
It was
figure.
the second week. It was the second
We're at a point now that everyone knows the value of
man.
players. So Kyle was able to get some trades that went in his favor because of low value people had. I mean, if chat, if you saw our trades like after week 1, there were some big swings coming out
They
of
did my whole
nowhere.
team. So
Mostly you and Kyle, Steve.
Yes,
Bro,
which
okay.
You're the
Okay.
two that literally trade almost every week during the season.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
traded
It's a
my
lot of
whole
fun.
team.
All right, let's
I
get
do it
back.
because it's fun.
clarify.
Let's-
I would like
let's-
to clarify one more piece that's
Yeah, go
important to
for
note.
it.
Even with all of that, besides Kyle and his madness, the rest of the league is within 4 games, and the majority of the league, literally spot 4 through 12, is within 2 games.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
nuts.
So even though Kyle is literally shitting on everyone in everyone's life, and outscoring on average everyone in the league by at least 20 points, I just did the math, every week. His team will probably still choke in the playoffs.
Listen,
We're here.
I'm just mad. I'm gonna have to give my money to Kyle.
Yeah.
I really don't want to give Kyle.
I'm just
I really want
mad.
to give.
That Cooper Cup got hurt because if not, I still had a chance at Kyle because Jonathan Taylor
Well,
came
let's
back
be
like
honest.
he was supposed to be.
All
Chat,
of us
this-
really have a chance at Kyle, to be honest.
Chat,
with you.
this-
We all
Like,
still
you know.
have a chance. It's
You
fine.
all-
We still have a chance, but Chad, this week we're losing. You know,
Listen,
our league is
I'm
getting dominated by a guy who gets only cheese calzones. Like, I really can't
Oh,
understand how we're
that's
losing to
hilarious.
this man.
Nice job,
But
Steven.
we should move on because
Yes,
I hate talking about this.
No.
I
Okay.
hate
I
fantasy.
All right, NHL, let's go.
Yeah,
NHL.
back to what we were talking
please.
about. The Boston Bruins are the best team in the NHL, and Kyle
What
said that
was
they
your
have to
question?
have.
What was your question?
You already answered it. You said that they
I
can have
did,
a
but I just
maximum of
want-
10 losses. So in my mind, that
Less than
means
10.
that 35 games they would be 25-10, and if they're at least 25-10 or better, you will say that they are legitimate.
Yes.
That is, that sounds fair.
They
that
have,
would
what,
mean
2
that
losses
the
now?
Yeah,
they have
14
2
and
losses, so
Yeah,
they
that's
would need
totally
to
fair.
go to reach that mark 11-8.
If they, which I don't see them doing, to be honest.
You don't see them going 11-8 in the.
No. I see that. No. I'm saying I do like. I'm saying
Oh,
like I
you
think they'll
don't
be
see them
better.
not doing
Yes,
it. Okay, you
yes.
flipped. I
Easy,
agree. It would
easy.
take a lot with how good they've been playing. Like I don't
Yes,
know if you've
exactly.
watched the game. I think they play the Rangers soon.
I
They
think next week.
I'm actually looking right now. Actually, they don't play the
Bro,
Rangers.
the Bruins' goal differential is fucking 30.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's 65 goals to 35 goals. The next highest goals for in the league is 50. Let me see, 50 or 61 by the Kings. But then it goes down very quickly to that. They are at plus 30 goal differential, which the next highest in the league is 22 by the Golden Knights, which is a 13-3 team. And then after that's very steep drop off. A lot of people in the single digits. So, another surprise team is the Devils. The point is that right now it is the top 3 teams and then everyone else. And
Which
right
I'm
now,
not surprised. It does this every year. Usually.
I will say, if you go back to our standings for this year, I put the Devils in 3rd place, and Kyle said, no, they'll be like 4th or 5th place. I don't believe the
They
hype.
will.
And
They
then
will.
I said Ottawa was going to be out of the playoffs, and Kyle's like, no, they're
You
going to make
watch.
the playoffs.
You watch. Come April.
The
April,
Senators
I
are
guarantee-
5-9-1, Kyle.
Come
They
on.
look
I
like
guarantee you,
rockets.
they do not. They were struggling because they have a brand new team. They signed the best free agents possible, and they just needed to build that chemistry. Since the
There's a
past
little bit of
couple
bias
weeks,
in that because Claude Giroux's there. Let's be honest.
well, yeah, but he still is. He still was one of the best free agents at the time. But he was one of the best free agents. So
I
I'm
know,
not
I
like making it just because I like him. But I'm just
honest
saying, like,
opinion, I'm sure Kyle agrees with us. I'm sure Jake agrees with us. I am very surprised the Bruins are where they are.
Yeah.
I'm very
Yes.
happy they are where they are.
Mhm.
But seeing how they're playing now, this doesn't surprise me. Like
Yeah.
when you watch the games, you're not like, oh, this is as of now a fake 14-2. I've watched. They played 16 games. I'm pretty sure I've watched 13 or 14 of them. They are running the game. In fact, one of their only losses was to Ottawa, but they are running the games every game that they win.
So Nick, 1 second. So I'm gonna go back to a conversation that we had about the MLB and regular season games not necessarily mattering as much towards the beginning of the year. And Kyle in that discussion was very adamant that every game mattered and every game
Yes.
meant you were legit. So how are you gonna
They do.
flip that and tell me that you gotta wait until December? How are you
I
gonna flip
didn't say
that on
that.
me?
Hold on. Okay, first off, I didn't say. I said every game matters, which it does, and I will stand by that. Every. Don't say nah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. Don't tell me nah.
That is what he said. That is what he said. That is what he said.
That is exactly what I said. So listen, let me respond, fucker. Hold on. Every game matters. I don't care what sport you're playing. Every game matters from beginning to end. I stand by that. Doesn't necessarily mean you are a contender right away in the beginning, or doesn't mean you are a failure right away in the beginning. The entire season matters because every game matters. So that varies. If you go back to baseball, at the time we had the conversation, Yankees were running away with the league. Every game matters because that's what they were doing. You go look at the end of the season when they fucking sucked. Every game mattered, and teams won because every game mattered. And teams didn't give up.
At least he had a good answer to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I fair enough. I
Like-
will say, and Kyle, I'll let you finish. Actually, I'm sorry.
No, so I'm just like comparing it to baseball because that's the topic you brought up. Look at how the Braves did at the beginning of the season. The Braves sucked. They still played every single game regardless of how they did. They won the playoffs, they won the division, and they kept
So what
going.
you're telling me was the late season games matter more.
No, because
No.
all the ones that went high in the playoffs besides the
But they
Astros
matter.
got bitch slapped. So
I'm saying they matter the same because no matter what you do in the beginning and you do at the end, the entire season matters. If the Braves still sucked at the end, it wouldn't have mattered if they also sucked in the beginning. They sucked the entire season. That matters in hockey just as much. If the Bruins do well now, because every game matters, but they suck later, they still suck. It doesn't matter when they suck. It's because every game matters.
let me
No,
say
you're
this to
good.
Jake. because
I just
wanna-
wanted to. I'm just trying to fuck with Kyle. It's all
Jake,
good.
Yeah,
I
and
gotta-
you
I gotta-
failed. And you failed.
You did.
Not
you did.
really.
I
Not
gotta
really.
say
Yes,
this.
it did.
You brought up the
I've
topic.
got rebuttals. I just don't have time for it.
You brought up the topic of when we had this discussion in our group chat.
Yes.
And how you and Nick were both like, "Oh, the end of the games matter
Yeah,
more
and
because
season matters
it's building right." The Braves were the hottest team in the second half, all the way through the end, and they got bitch slapped in the first round. So I want you to look at me and say that it matters.
It
more.
matters more. Look at the
does-
Yankees, dog.
Still have the same
Yankees
point.
actually closed the
All right, let's talk about the
season
2019
better,
Blues then. They were
and
the
they-
worst team through the first half of the season and still won a Stanley Cup.
But
yeah, and
every
sometimes it
game
does,
matters.
But every
Nah.
game does matter.
It
and,
mattered more towards the end of the year.
the-
I
The
know
Dodgers,
he's not saying every game
Dodgers
doesn't
were
matter.
super hot at the end of the
Matters more.
season. They sucked. The who are the other teams? The not the Braves. The Padres. They were not that. They fought their way in, but they weren't hot at the end of the season. They got hot in the playoffs and made it to the
So you're
the,
telling me the end of the
Western
season mattered
Finals.
more?
But
No,
Okay.
that's
No,
not
I
what
just
he
said-
is saying.
the end of
I'm
the
being
regular
such
season,
a
they
fucking
sucked.
troll. I love
My
this.
point still stands. By the way, I would rather the Bruins be 7-7 now and end the season 14-2 than start the season 14-2. I would much rather them end the season this way than
I
start
mean,
the season this way,
here-
unless they continue
Yes.
it and then
Here's the
sure.
other thing, right? If that was the exact case, then the Celtics would not have lost to the Warriors last year because they would have been too good going through it, and they still could have won. But the Warriors, they didn't finish hot, they didn't finish bad. They just finished kind of like the same they were all season, good, and then they just ripped through the playoffs and beat the Celtics. And
Well,
it's the
they
same
didn't
thing.
really
It's
play
like-
anybody in the playoffs, but
yeah, but either way, they still went through and
Yeah,
they
they
played
did
the
get
Celtics, who were
softball
the
the Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals.
yeah, but they
Sorry.
played
They got
what was the
softball
best
Luka.
team. And I know that Tatum was hurt. Others
softball
probably, you know,
Luka.
They
You
got
make up whatever
softball
excuse
one
you want,
person.
but
That's really all they got. I get your point. Again, I would rather end the way that they're starting, but if
I
they
agreed
continue
with
this, then
I did.
if
I
at the end
did
of the
think
day they
you guys had-
double this and they are 28-4, and Kyle still says they're not real yet, I'm just gonna be really mad. So,
That's a fact.
If they double it, I'll admit I'm wrong.
Yeah,
If
you
they-
better admit
Wow.
that they're Stanley
You-
Cup
you
contenders.
Kyle's
admit
gonna
that's the
admit
best
he's wrong
hockey
twice
team
in
in
the next
history.
coming months. This is gonna
Yeah,
be great.
I don't think they're gonna
Dolphins-
double it. Just on the same page.
Yeah.
Remember my take? The Dolphins would finish first. It's looking real fucking good right
And
now.
yet
Okay,
we're
well, let's
halfway
just
through
be
the
frank
here.
season.
There could be any of these four teams, unfortunately, could be first right now. Truthfully, the Bills are not the same without Brian Dable. I will talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna move on. Because
still have-
actually, we're gonna move on to the NHL thing. We're gonna talk about the
I
Hall
know
of
what-
Fame. You
yeah.
said the list of Hall of Fame nominees
Yeah.
got
Well,
put out.
Potential.
Potential nominees. So this
Yes.
isn't the actual nominees list. This is
No.
the potential.
These
Okay,
are the,
people who
these are the
could.
eligible. These are the eligible players.
Okay, I didn't look at how
Yes.
long the list is. Is it worth reading out words?
You don't have to do everyone. You can just tell me which, like, pick 3 or 4 out of the list. that you
Oh,
think-
I've
Okay,
got-
Jake.
I've
since
got
you
it.
already did it.
I've got it.
Go ahead.
All right. I'm going to start with a player from my own hometown of Danvers, Massachusetts. And everybody here, I don't want to hear it at the end of the day. This person is an Olympic gold medalist, a 2-time Olympic silver medalist, a 7-time Hockey World Championship gold medal winner, and a 1-time Hockey World Championship silver medal winner. We're going to go with the female from Danvers, Massachusetts, Megan Duggan. She deserves it. Roll Danvers, roll Massachusetts. Huge hockey town. Second,
I was gonna say,
no,
Jake,
go
we can
ahead.
go back and forth. We can go back and forth.
Oh, we can.
I
I'm
agree
down.
with your Megan Duggan. I agree with that spot, and then Kyle can jump in as well. I have to say this, and this is probably on your list, Jake. Tim Thomas.
Let's go!
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was the best goalie in the league for almost 10 years. So I don't
So-
really.
Single-handedly
First off, that is
carried the
not
Bruins
true,
to a
but
fucking Stanley
He
Cup.
was not one of the best. I will say, when I was doing research, he wasn't the best. He wasn't even close until 2011 when they won.
That's
He
fine.
was average. He wasn't the best in the league.
Yeah, and then he
know?
carried him to a Stanley
But
Cup.
I will say, when I was looking at the statistics and I saw how many individual awards he has,
It's nuts.
I was actually fucking shocked. I was like, I know how good he was for that Stanley Cup run with the Bruins, but then I saw how many like individual awards he won. What?
2 Stanley Cup runs.
He only has one.
Two Vesnas, Conn
wasn't-
Smythe,
he
William
wasn't
Jennings.
on
Oh, my bad. One Stanley Cup.
The
Yeah.
run.
first
My
goalie
bad.
to win all 3 of the goaltender awards and the or 2 goaltender awards and the Stanley Cup in the same year since '74. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of gross. That's
I-
a single year of greatness right there.
I was blown away because I honestly didn't think he had that many awards, and I was looking at it and I was like, holy shit, he did pretty good. That
I
year.
actually think he
So,
has the most awards on this list. Like
in that category. In
the category
yes.
for the goalies.
Yes, he does.
Yes. Go ahead, Jake. What's your third or next one?
The next one would definitely be Henrik Lundqvist.
I completely agree. That is my next one as well.
Honestly, I'm just gonna say 2 because it's Henrik Lundqvist and Curtis Joseph. They both have the same amount of wins at 459, which is tied for 6th all time, I think. Lundqvist is a Vezina Trophy winner, a 5-time All-Star, and an Olympic gold and silver medalist. Joseph is a 3-time All-Star and won an Olympic gold. That makes a lot of sense to me. Put both of those dudes in the hall. End of story.
I agree.
Yes, I really struggle because I have a very big bias towards Corey Crawford as one of the most respected players in the NHL, especially when they were winning every year. Pretty much, it felt like back when I was really starting it. However, as much as I want to bias pick him, and I hope he gets in eventually, I do have to look at my main man Zetterberg as a part of one of the few players. It's not so few, and it definitely won't be so few in the coming years to hit 1,000 points in his career, which is freaking incredible. Think about it, that's 100 points, which is a fantastic season, 10 years, or a good season, which is a point per game for about 12 to 14 years, which is absolutely insane. Not many people make that list, especially that many people have that many seasons with a point per game. So Zetterberg, I totally would love if he would get in. That would be my next kind of pick.
I left Corey Crawford off this list. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I don't blame you. Kyle, how many people get in? Do we know?
So on average, it is 3 to 4 get elected every single year. It does vary. It does vary. So these are not all. Some of these players are first ballot Hall of Famers, so they will be up for their first election next year. Some of these have been eligible for quite a few years. So Curtis Joseph has been someone who's been eligible for I think 5 years. So Tim
Lundqvist
Thomas,
is a guaranteed first ballot.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
agree, 100% agree.
He is. He's been literally top 10 goalie in the league for what feels like my whole life.
Our
like,
entire lifetime.
Yeah, literally.
I think another guaranteed first ballot Hall of Famer is going to be Justin Williams.
You
I think
so?
Justin. Yes,
I left him off the list.
I'm shocked at that because he has those 3 Stanley Cup runs are going to carry a lot of weight
That makes
into
sense,
his eligibility. So like yes, those are team wins, and he did win an individual award in one of those years. He did win the Conn Smythe Trophy, but going forward with that, like those 3 Stanley Cup wins are going to mean a lot when you win.
In that case, we're throwing Gonchar in then. I mean, might as well.
I
He was doing
agree.
well.
I had him on my list, but the other person I wanted to mention, maybe I'm putting too much emphasis on Olympic golds, but another guy with the 1,000 point club, Alexander Mogilny. Sorry,
Yes. No, he 100% should.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's taken this long.
Sabres Hall
Like,
of
I don't-
Famer,
like,
Stanley Cup.
I don't know. I don't know why he hasn't won yet. Like
It might have to be. It might have to be something to do with the Soviet thing. But hey,
yeah, I get that, but he was one of the best players in the world in the 90s. So much so I have a little figurine on my collection table. Like
Of course
that's
you
how
do.
I think,
of course
like,
you do.
Hold on.
You nerd.
See? There he is.
You're such a. You're a fucking
So-
nerd. That's awesome.
Dude, I love it. I love it.
Oh my god.
I mean, Kyle. Honestly, I want Kyle. I want Tim Thomas to be a first ballot. I don't think he will
No,
be.
I doubt it.
I don't
He
think it'll
isn't.
take him.
I honestly, he, this is his 5th year being eligible because he retired in 2014, and it's 2 years after retirement. You're
Yeah,
eligible.
he'll make it eventually. It's gonna take a
He
soft year.
should.
It's gonna take a soft year, which maybe this year, maybe next year, whatever. But
It's going to take a soft year without many first ballot people eligible.
yeah,
is
you
what's
know what I
going-
can't wait for? I can't wait for the year that both Crosby and Ovechkin are both first ballot. It's the easiest Hall of Fame choice ever.
You know,
Ever.
they should just give them. They should be the first people inducted to the Hall of Fame while still playing. Like that should just be.
Well, chill out.
Bro,
I
no.
mean,
Bro.
They're guaranteed. They are literally
absolutely.
guaranteed.
Yeah. So is
But
Henrik
it's,
Lundqvist. He had
it's
to
a
wait
part
2
of the
years.
lead up, right? Like it's just like the NFL. Like there's a list of people who you knew for a fact were eventually going to be Hall of
Mhm.
Famers, but they still have to wait
Yes.
that
I
X amount of
mean,
years.
I know.
Yeah, like
but-
it's crazy, and it's such an emotional moment for those players, and I'm sure
Oh,
it's the same
for
for the
sure.
NHL.
Bro, Tom Brady's gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and they'll be voting for him when he's 53 years old.
Bro,
Yes.
he's
It's
never getting it. I don't know what
ridiculous.
he's talking
How
about. He
how
keeps
long?
losing rings.
How long is it after
5.
you retire for?
It's 5 years.
5.
So it's different every sport because it's 2 in hockey. So
Yeah,
that's
it's-
why I'm like.
It's different in every sport. No, honestly,
I think
the
baseball
minute-
is
NBA is next year. NBA is the
Yeah.
following year.
honestly,
Oh wow. Okay.
Yep.
honestly,
And,
if-
MLB is actually quite a while.
It's like 7 years. Yeah.
yeah, no, it's vastly
up, Jake?
different. No, honestly, if I'm the NHL Hall or NFL Hall of Fame voters, I'm just looking at Tom Brady the minute he retires and just handing him his gold jacket. But
Honestly,
Yes.
you should hand it
Honest-
to him his last game, his official last game. You should just hand it to him. Like,
like, here you go.
We don't know when that is anymore because he's just gonna come out of retirement in a couple
Yeah,
of weeks
who knows?
apparently.
Okay,
Yeah,
Bro's
well, no,
2-0.
he's probably
What
going
are
to
you
ditch
gonna
the
do? Get
Buccaneers and go to the
divorced again?
49ers, let's be honest here.
What's,
But
he's
anyway,
gonna get
anyway.
divorced again or something. I don't know. So
Bro's been
Is anyone-
angry since he got divorced
Dude.
and he's 2-0. Watch out.
I can't lie, dude. I love Tom Brady. He's been a part of my childhood and me growing up and whatnot. I hate what he's going through.
Yeah.
I hate the fact that it is self-inflicted. Like I feel like he's choosing to continue
Oh.
to be good on his path. Like, I
Okay.
hate that.
I'm gonna make
I
I'm
do
gonna
have
make one more
one
joke
more
here.
hockey
I
person.
really can't wait until Tom Brady's kid comes and destroys the league that ruined his childhood. One
Dude.
more meme
Yes.
and then we're done.
Please.
I love
would
it.
I
actually
do,
love
have, I
that.
do have another person.
Go,
who-
go ahead. Yes, says yes, Kyle. Any other people you want to bring up?
I do think Caroline Ouellette should be eligible.
That
She
name's
has-
super familiar.
She has dominated women hockey for the past 12 years.
Yep.
4 Olympic gold medals, 6 World Championship gold medals, 6 World Championship silver medals. That's it. She has 16 medals in international play, and that's not counting her play in the Professional Women's Hockey League, where she won the Best Player of the Year award twice. and her nearly 500 points in that span as well. Like, she is insane. So I definitely think she will be. This is her first year eligible going to 2023. So she is also someone I think will be pretty close to being first ballot Hall of Famer as well.
Love it.
I'm looking it up. I was seeing because there's no easy database, unfortunately, for
No, there isn't.
for women's hockey. I was seeing if I could find the all-time scores. Unfortunately, there's not an easy space to do that.
I'm
but
surprised the NHL doesn't do it.
I think they're going to. I mean, the NHL is the first game ever, I think, that has included, actually made like cards in their Ultimate Team fashion of female hockey players, which is absolutely fantastic. And they are of equal value, of equal skill level. They make it perfect. Super impressed with that. I really
Does
enjoyed
the NBA, does 2K do that for WNBA?
No.
No, they have the
But they
WNBA
do have
season
WNBA
thing.
as a part of the game, so that's another
Okay.
good step towards stuff.
Okay.
You know?
We've gotten that right.
I don't know what the NFL is going to do if they're going to put in that bikini league or whatever they got going on, but
Oh, the Legends of Football League or something like
is that what
that.
it's called?
Is that what-
Yeah,
Is
it's
there anyone
yeah.
else who you wanted to bring up, Kyle?
We pretty much covered it. I don't know if Steve or Austin looked at it, if they have anyone they want to mention.
I don't know enough about hockey.
All I gotta say is roll Tim Thomas and roll
Gretzky.
Megan Duggan.
Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky, speaking of people who
I'm
they
excited
gave the
for
Hall of
Marchand.
Fame-
I'm excited
Stop
to
it.
feature for Marchand. Marchand's gonna make a great.
You know what's
Wayne
addition.
crazy?
Gretzky is
You know what's crazy
overrated.
though? Stop it. Marchand will probably be a Hall of Famer, and I actually don't think it will be close, to be honest.
I don't think so.
Mar-
Him and
I don't think
him and
it'll be close.
Bergeron are guaranteed in my mind. guaranteed.
Bergeron's guaranteed.
And
Bergeron-
Zdeno Chara is a guaranteed Hall of Famer next year as
Facts.
well. Like that's
Facts.
it's.
I don't know about first ballot, but he will be a Hall of
He
Famer.
has to be. He played forever, Kyle. And he
Yeah,
won
I have to
multiple
look.
championships.
I have to look at his like stats. I could be blown away like I was with Tim Thomas. Like I could be totally wrong.
Yeah.
I just don't think
Okay.
he'll be a first ballot.
Okay.
I'm not saying he won't get in. I'm not saying that because he will. I'm just saying he won't be a first ballot.
So here's my thing. I'm gonna last rebuttal, then we can move to the tiers if that's what we're gonna do. Zdeno Chara, I don't know if he has all of the awards, but the longevity of Zdeno Chara and the absolute impact he had on every team that he played for. Plus, I mean, the man's just a behemoth. He going in the hall. Going in the hall.
He's just like Joe Thornton.
So-
Like he's had a similar impact to Joe Thornton. So if you think Joe Thornton's a first ballot or very close up there, which I think he probably is, it's
Yeah.
the same thing. It's
The
the same.
problem with Zdeno Chara that is unlike other people on this list is he doesn't have any international awards of
So?
any kind.
That's what happens when you play for a garbage country. You know what I mean?
He can't help where he was born. Easy.
Bro.
Exactly.
So I'm just saying he actually he does have silver medal, so I take that back. Never mind, ignore me.
He's in.
Okay.
He's in.
Ignore me.
He's in.
Yeah.
He's in. Let's go.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, so we're gonna move on from that because that'll always be an ongoing debate. Bruins are the best team in the league, and they're gonna prove it to Kyle. So let's go. He doesn't see him not changing the record, but he refuses to change his opinion until it happens.
All right.
That makes sense.
Kyle's gonna be like,
Anyways.
oh, all those games would have been a lot closer if you just played
Dude,
better. All right,
imagine they
Kyle.
don't lose till then just to prove Kyle wrong. He'd be pissed. 25-2. Actually, sorry, that would be 35 games, 33-2. That would be the best record ever in the NHL at that point.
That
Yeah.
would have to be one of the best seasons of all time. Like that.
However, I don't think it's going to happen, but I hope they get 110 points. I
Doubt
don't want
it.
them to win the President's Trophy. That's a curse.
That
Yeah.
is a curse.
All right.
Steve, you have your NFL tiers, and I have a backup if it doesn't. We'll see how long it takes.
All right,
I'm loving
everybody.
this. I'm so
So
ready.
I am going to share my screen real quick.
let's
I'm gonna
go.
go with this one. We're gonna go live. See if you guys can see that. Beautiful. So I'm gonna go over here. I can't really see your faces, but I don't think that's a terrible thing. So, do you guys see the screen right here? You guys
Oh,
see my
nice
little mouse
PowerPoint.
moving?
Yeah, we see it.
All right. So I have a lovely little PowerPoint. I'm going to go for a slideshow. We're going to start from the beginning. So as you guys know, I love creative crap. I love doing stuff differently. So I love doing these NFL tiers. They are a lot of fun. I think of it as a work of art. And I'm not a huge art person. I've gone to the Museum of Fine Art in Boston, seen the modern art, and just thought, what is this? So I figured, what's another way of art? You know, I think of many great artists of our day, and there's nothing like a perfectly timed insult or screaming at someone. And I thought, what better person to represent that than Gordon Ramsay. So every single one of these tiers are going to be a representation of the different levels of Gordon Ramsay. I hope you guys are ready because I really don't think I am. So we're going to start with the first tier. We're going to have the first tier. You've stopped caring. You really don't care, do you? So first got the Texans. They're 1-7-1. I mean, they lost to the Giants, which is just sad to begin with. But at this point, yeah, just think about the draft. I mean, see what you can pick up. There's some great quarterbacks coming in. I mean, you have a lot of problems to deal with, but I also got to feel bad for Brandon Cooks, for somebody who doesn't care, because I can imagine he wanted to be on a good team. That didn't happen. The Panthers really stopped caring when they traded for Baker Mayfield, but, you know, honestly, even back when they got Sam Darnold, we don't need to worry about that. They're at a point of no return. They gave up Christian McCaffrey. And, I mean, they got 2 good wins against the Falcons, so whatever. Now you have the Saints. This is, with Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton, this is a team that I expect them to honestly be doing better. But it just, that pass attack is so disappointing. And I'm disappointed because I have one of their receivers on my fantasy team, but we don't have to worry about that also.
Hey, Steve.
What?
We can't see the slide.
Yeah.
You can't see the slide?
No, I didn't want to interrupt you.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
Okay,
There
we
we
can
go.
see
Now
it
we're
now. We're good.
Okay. So you stop caring. Okay, so we got 3 teams. The Saints, I'm more surprised more than anything they're not doing this well, but I'm not really gonna focus too much on
They
it.
have Michael Thomas, who's a bitch on their stubborn.
Yeah, a hamstring that. Well, hey, he took the smart route and he's put on IR, so now we get to yell at Keenan Allen for taking forever. And I'm still not convinced he's a lead wide receiver because he's gonna have to play for me to be convinced. So, anyways, this is a picture of Gordon Ramsay from before, just so you guys know. There you go. All right, so now we got, pardon my French, the fuck are you doing? All right, Broncos I'm putting at the top of this list because Broncos country, let's ride. I just can't with you guys. I mean, you lost to the Titans. It's not a terrible loss, but
They lost a trade for Geno Smith. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it is kind of crazy how I can imagine you can go into any Madden simulation, put the trade that they put together for the Seahawks, and I think the Broncos would be like, why would we make such a stupid ass trade? And fun fact, it's turning into that. But let's get over to the Raiders. Josh McDaniels is just not a coach. He is not a head coach. He really isn't. I mean, Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller. I feel bad for anybody who picked them up in fantasy because they have just done nothing this year. And Devontae Adams has done well. I know because he's one of the reasons why I lost last week. But I can imagine he's like, I kind of want to go back to Green Bay. I think Green Bay could just take their picks and maybe swap, but they still can't take the cap hit, so who knows? Next, I got the Rams. I mean, you're a Super Bowl champion, 3-6. You can't do anything on offense. You go through one wide receiver in order to do anything on offense, and guess what? He's out. So maybe think of the draft. No, because you don't have a first-round pick this year. So realistically, you're screwed either way because you don't even have a first-round pick for this next draft. Packers, I don't care that they beat the Cowboys. I really don't care because this is more of the Cowboys just imploding on themselves than anything. Because one, you let them.
Cornerback, not Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also I'm more frustrated with Rodgers because of the amount of money you wanted to make so that you don't have the cap to get a good wide receiver at all. I don't know what they did before the trade deadline. There's definitely plenty of receivers like DJ Moore or hell, maybe even talking about Devontae Adams again or going for Brandon Cooks. Like there are definitely things you could have done to get wide receivers, and clearly it didn't work. Now I'm going to get to the Bears. Why am I saying with the Bears? Because you're not a playoff team. I mean, in order to consider yourself a playoff team, you're going to have to win all but one of your games for the rest of the season, most likely, to have a chance. And one, you're going to have Justin Fields running around all the time now. You know he's going to get hit a lot, and that's not what you want from a young wide receiver. They're projected to have, I think it's about $100 million in cap for next year. So you can use that. Don't put all your eggs in one basket in the season. Don't get your guy hurt because you put up 30 points, an impressive amount, and the Lions were somehow able to beat you. So just for that, like, what the fuck are you doing? But it's okay. Now, oh my God, it's bland. We got teams that I think are so, they can be entertaining, but honestly, I just don't care about them. They're bland, they're boring. They're not going to accomplish much this season, and I don't think a lot of us really care. The Steelers, Najee Harris isn't the same. Terrible offensive line. I mean, you need a pass rusher to win games. That's not a good recipe, and maybe you guys showed, maybe you guys proved to the rest of the league that, yeah, this year's draft was terrible for quarterbacks. Granted, the Titans helped with that too, but at least they're winning. Now we got the Jaguars. I mean, I was so excited when they blew out the Chargers. I'm like, holy crap. At one point, this division is theirs to take. But no, that couldn't happen. And you actually had a team that, in a very close game, could actually take advantage of the Chiefs because you can run the ball very well, and then you have a Chiefs team that has a secondary that allows 100 passer rating, but you didn't do that. Commanders, you won against the Eagles. You got some pretty BS calls called your way. I saw the face mask fumble. I gotta say, if you're a Philly fan and you're pissed off, I don't blame you because that was ridiculous. And don't get excited about Heineke. Who was talking about Heineke? Who was it? Was it Kyle?
Jake.
That was me. No, that was me.
Okay. Well, Kyle, who cares? Because he had a 60 passer rating. They did a group project. He showed up for one group session and got an A, but did nothing. You know what won them that game? It was their running game. All right.
And
Tyler
if they-
Heineke. No. Heineke takes advantage of some situations where teams just don't take him very seriously, so he's enough of a passer that he can get it done. Also, Scary Terry is just an insane wide receiver.
Thank you.
So he had 10 catches, 128 yards. So yeah, he did great. But no, they're a bland team. Like, don't get too excited. They might make the playoffs, but they're not going to do anything with it. Cardinals, I mean, there's a new COD coming out every year, so I really don't know how you think you're going to do well with Kyler Murray as your quarterback. You should have kept the mandatory study time in the trade or in your contract. So I don't know what you guys are thinking with that. You should have kept it because clearly he's trying to get, platinum with the M16 right now. So good luck to him. Now we got the Browns. I hate you, Browns, because Deshaun Watson. I don't know.
Please come back and save my fantasy team, though.
No. And then you
You're a
have
scum of the earth right now.
you're not able to get a sack with Jadeveon Clowney and
Myles
his
Garrett.
name? Myles Garrett. I mean, the Dolphins don't have a great offensive line. It's definitely not the best. And any one-on-one matchup, Myles Garrett can definitely take you out. But you weren't able to do anything. You're a boring team. And I wish I could just ignore you, but now you have Deshaun Watson, so you're going to be a loud team. And when the Browns are a loud team, they suck. So I'm just bored with them. We know what's going to happen. It's bland. I don't like it. Then we have, I just wanted more. I want more. I wanted more from you. I got the Cowboys because you imploded against a Packers team that really had no life left. You had a 14-point lead against the Packers at home. How do you lose that? How do you mess that up? And the Packers ran the ball. You should not lose. A team running the ball should not catch up to you. That's just your fault. Falcons, I was really excited for the Falcons to become more of an upset sort of team. But with Cordell Patterson back, I'm now seeing he barely ran at all the last game. This goes to show that they can definitely come to disappoint with the talent that they want to take advantage of, because you have some players that can definitely change the game if they wanted to. I mean, Cordell Patterson, Kyle Pitts, AJ Terrell, you actually have some pretty decent players, but I just don't expect much more from you for the rest of the season, and I wanted more just because I love parity. Now I'm going to put the Lions in here. I mean, if you guys remember from one episode, I said the Lions have a chance to take the division. They technically could.
No.
I think it's unlikely. But with such a high-scoring offense and a defense that has certain pieces that you could actually do pretty well, 3-6 is pretty sad. Granted, I will give you this. I'm happy you beat the Packers. That's good enough. The Chargers. I mean, Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, what's his name? Curtis Samuel. You got Jordan James,
JC Jackson.
JC. This is just your defense, and you have like the 28th or 30th to 28th ranked defense in the league, and then you have two receivers that. I mean, Keenan Allen, I just don't know what's up with this hamstring. He's been out for so long. He should have been just put on IR a long time ago. But I just don't get it.
Are you sure his hamstring is fine? Because as Kadarius Toney has proven, you can fake injuries. So I just want to make sure.
Kyle, this isn't about the Giants.
I'm not.
No one cares. He's getting there.
Hey, what segment is this? Siege years? Okay, Kyle. Then listen. So we're gonna keep going. Mike Williams has been injured a lot. And he's definitely a big play receiver, but I would not consider him a true number one wide receiver. But I expected more from you. And then we have the Colts. I mean, come on, Michael Pittman, that offensive line, Matt Ryan, a stout defense, and a great running game. And you're 4-5-1 and had some pretty terrible, embarrassing losses. I expected a lot more from you.
And
it was
sad.
sad.
Your head coach.
Yeah, and you hired a guy with no experience. Granted, you guys got to win. It's great. Kyle just sent me a text. I'm gonna ignore it. And so, and I expected a lot more from you. I just wanted more from the Colts because you guys every year it's like they have a chance. They have a team that could potentially be a Super Bowl contender, and then they just fail, and it's kind of annoying. Next, we got it's all right. Like. You can look at these teams and say, they're all right. I got the Seahawks. That was definitely a pretty embarrassing loss to the Buccaneers because you look so out of sorts at the beginning. And I don't know if you're going to give Buccaneers fans false hope or this is just the Bucs turning things around. But here's the thing, Seahawks. You get a loss like that when you have a team trying to throw a pass to their quarterback and you somehow don't win that game or come back from it. I mean, you just got disrespected, but you guys are all right. You still have a winning record. You have some impressive wins. I will give you that. Next, get the Buccaneers. Tom Brady is 2-0 since his divorce. And apparently Giselle has a new boyfriend down in Costa Rica that's been her jiu-jitsu instructor for the last year. So I have a feeling pissed off Brady is going to start turning things around. You have a defense that went back to form and held Penny to 17 rushing yards on 9 attempts. So that's pretty damn good. Then you have Devin White, who's putting in all the effort. You have a secondary that's getting healthier. And now you have a run game. You had over 150 yards rushing. That's pretty damn good. Because here's the thing. If you give Brady a run game and you give him play action pass, screens, quick passes, I mean, it's just unstoppable. It's over. Jets, I look at the Jets, I automatically think, oh, that's a top 5 draft pick. But they're 6-3 right now, and they have a win over the Buffalo Bills, and have done a great job at potentially exposing them. So I think they're all right. They still got dominated. They still got embarrassed by the Patriots, and they're going to travel to Gillette as well. So I really don't like their chances. Unfortunately, I don't see them getting many more wins, but they do have a bright future, and that's all right. I'm putting the Patriots here because I didn't know what to expect. I had low expectations for the Patriots, to be honest, and they're 5-4. I mean, an overtime loss to the Packers, that's still pretty good considering you didn't have Mac Jones in there. Don't give me the crap about Bailey Zappi. I don't want to hear it. When he came in during the Bears, those were scripted plays. Like, just stop. Like, Mac Jones is the way to go, and just stick with it and just deal with it, sweetheart. So the Patriots are definitely in a good chance now to become top in the division potentially with a couple of big wins. And these are all games that Bill Belichick can definitely put together a game plan for. Now, if the Raiders fire Josh McDaniels, that's a different story.
We're in business, baby.
Then we got, tastes quite nice. And like, I quite like this. And finally, some good fucking food. So we got the Giants. I'm putting them at the top here because I am impressed with the Giants. I will say that. I mean, Daniel Jones is definitely a quarterback that can lose you games, and he's still that kind of quarterback. But you have a really good running game. You have a very stout defense. He's building up his relationship with Slayton, which is very, very good. And you still have the best receiver in the league in Kenny Galladay. So I think this team is in a pretty good spot. And 7-2 is great. I mean, the Eagles losing. Now you have to play the Eagles twice coming up. I mean, I don't want to get Kyle's hopes up, but that's a recipe that if I was a Giants fan, I would be very much a fan of. And I think Gordon would too. 49ers, yeah, they're 5-4. They had an embarrassing loss to the Chiefs, but you got to give this team a chance when they're healthy because Jimmy Garoppolo can still win. If he doesn't throw a pick, they're like 10-2. And you have Kyle Shanahan with a running back like Mitchell, who's going to be coming back and healthy. You have him with Christian McCaffrey. Then you have Deebo Samuel. And so you have 3 dual threat players that you can deal with, not even mentioning Brandon Ayuk being able to run the slot, be a very good number 2 wide receiver. And then you still have George Kittle that when he's healthy, he's still an incredible tight end. And you have an incredible left tackle, and you have a running game that you have an offensive line that can block really well. And you still have a very stout defense and a very good pass rush. So 49ers, they taste quite nice. The Bills, I took them out of the top tier because we're starting to see if you just put the pressure on Josh Allen, they really fall apart. I mean, they had that game against the Vikings, and then they fumbled in the end zone on a quarterback sneak. Oh, boy. And they proceeded to lose that game because Josh Allen felt like throwing directly to Patrick Peterson. So that's not great. But
Didn't he throw to him twice?
yes. But at the same time, this is a team that can knockout punch you. So I got to say, they still taste quite nice because either you're going to win an ugly, close game and embarrass them, or they're going to
Bend you
basically,
over.
yeah, they're going to bend you over and you're going to be done by the second half. I have the Dolphins here. They got a great offense. I mean, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, that is just a duo that is so hard to cover. You have Tua that he's going to have time to throw. They still have a run game that they could take advantage of. And then he has those 2 receivers. So, yeah, he's going to look like an MVP. So that's very good. And even that, I will give him this. He still had a very good winning record when he didn't have Tyreek Hill on the team. But a lot of times we see when Josh Allen got Stephon Diggs, when Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams started building up chemistry, when Jamar Chase came over to Joe Burrow, you bring a receiver to a quarterback, and yeah, they're going to do a million times better and become an instant playoff team. Now I got the Ravens. Lamar Jackson is doing great. Pass catchers aren't fantastic aside from Mark Andrews, but when you have a running quarterback extending the play, you can take advantage of that. You have a defense that secondary I think is overrated. I think Marlon Humphreys is an overrated corner, but he can still make some great plays when he needs to. So the Ravens are still a very nice team that when they're fully healthy, yeah, they can definitely be a challenge. Titans, you got the Chiefs to overtime with Malik Willis. That's it. Like, you held Patrick Mahomes to 20 points. So I'm just putting you there just because of that. Now you're 6-3 and you get to possibly win the division. You have a great coach and you have a very, very good defense, especially on third down, which against a team like Patrick Mahomes, you could beat them if you can stop them on third down because the Chiefs are definitely a more multi-down team. But finally, or second to last, we got absolutely delicious. These are teams that I think can make it deep into the playoffs, make it to the Super Bowl. Chiefs, yeah, no Tyreek Hill. It clearly doesn't matter. They're able to throw the ball to, 10 receivers have caught a touchdown from Patrick Mahomes. So Andy Reid's a genius. Patrick Mahomes is incredible. Travis Kelce's still an incredible tight end. And this is still a team that can score a large amount of points, but they're going to take more time doing it, which is not good for a lot of other teams that don't have a quarterback. So next I have the Eagles. Let's not freak out about the Commanders. There were definitely some calls that went against them. The Commanders have the ability to upset a team. Every team goes through an embarrassing loss. That's just how it is. Like, it happens. The Chiefs lost to the Colts. That's pretty fucking sad. Pardon my French. But so the Eagles just had an off game. I have the Vikings in here too because that was a big win against Buffalo. And holding them down in overtime, I think, was pretty fantastic. And Justin Jefferson is just a monster. He's an insane wide receiver. But you may be wondering, I have the Bengals in here, and they're 5-4. They have a top 5 defense. There was a stretch for about 5 or 6 games where they didn't allow a touchdown in the second half. They don't have star players. It really doesn't matter at this point because they have an incredible defense. And Joe Burrow, considering Joe Mixon is able to run, you now have all with what's his name, T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, and in the backfield you still got Joe Mixon. This is definitely a good game plan of running the ball and short passes and occasional deep ball. Yeah, the Bengals can do fantastic, and Jamar Chase is coming back. So now you have the Bengals with their top receiver, and they were at this point last year. And they still made it to the Super Bowl, so I like their chances. But there's still one more tier, and if you guys can count, which, Kyle, I hope you can, you may have noticed that I have done all the teams, but there's still one more tier. So here's a little story this year. So you know what's really unfair? Fantasy football. And I got to talk about how unfair fantasy football is. In this final tier, -1, you're standing there, you're screwing me, and you're fucking useless. Okay. So this is my fantasy team, the Saint Taints. Don't worry about the name. You know that, see these two scores right here? 1690.25. That's the second most in our league. Second most points scored. 1718 is the most points scored against me. It's the most in the league by well over 100 points. So,
I'm dead.
Hey, Steve, let's be honest. That's been your story for the last 4 years we've done this league. Literally,
Yes.
been over almost every week.
I don't know how, but every single week I went up against nobody's last week aside from Devontae Adams, and they put up 200 points. And Tom Brady and Leonard Fournette and Mike Evans and Austin Eckler and AJ Brown and Mark Andrews apparently isn't enough to do good in this league.
Well, Mark Andrews was on bye and is hurt. So
Kyle, I don't want to hear it. My team is terrible. This is awful. So I want you to know, it doesn't matter how good you are, how much effort you put into your teams, it's going to amount to nothing, and it's going to be sad.
Yeah, it's only going to amount to something if you get Ben's schedule.
Dude, I think I would be undefeated with Ben's schedule.
Yes, I would be too. And you know what's funny? You know what's a redeeming part of this whole thing is that I just get to look up of a close-up of Gordon Ramsay's face. That's the only good part about this slide. That's it. This is all I have to be excited about. That's okay. That's my tears. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Steve,
goodbye.
it's over.
Steve, you're so mad. Did he just log off?
Well,
he's
with
back.
that, Steve going off in his tears. Did anyone else have anything else they want to talk about this week?
What was that thing you wanted?
Well,
to
any
do?
comments on my
Eagles are
tears?
frauds. Eagles are frauds.
The Cardinals need
No,
to
they're
fire
not.
Cliff Kingsbury. Nick, what was
Yes.
that other thing you wanted to do? What was the secret thing?
We were looking at possibly doing a power rankings, but we can save that.
No, let's do it.
No,
Let's do
we
it.
got time. We got time.
Let's do it.
Time?
Yeah, we got time.
Okay, give me a second. I might have to remake it. I'm not kidding.
Oh, no.
It took me a few minutes.
Oh, man.
In the meantime, while Nick's looking that out,
Eagles are frauds. Eagles are frauds.
Eagles are not.
They're not frauds.
No.
As much as the
No,
No,
meme
no,
is
no,
funny.
no. Look, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it and show you why they're frauds.
Kyle, what were you going to say?
That's what I was gonna say that they're not frauds.
We're not talking about that.
Oh, I'm
Awesome.
finding it.
We can
Jay.
talk about how
Awesome.
badly the
Okay.
Cardinals need to fire Cliff Kingsbury, but that's about it.
You know what I do want to say? You guys can agree, disagree with me, and hate me all you want. The Cowboys genuinely need to go back to Cooper Rush as their quarterback.
Shut the fuck
They do.
up.
No,
No.
I'm not even joking. Like I'm being they're 4-2 with Cooper Rush, man.
Okay.
Here's the thing with Cooper Rush, though. It's
They're
the only
2-1 with
thing
Dak.
is-
That
4-1,
equates.
sorry. 4-1, and then Dak is 2-2. Like
Okay, give me who they
the only
who
problem
they
is
play.
because Cooper. Yeah, but they don't rely on Cooper Rush as much as they do with Dak
they
because
shouldn't.
you know.
need to.
They shouldn't need to. Well, they shouldn't, but they paid him $116 million, so they have no other choice.
If Cooper Rush can play the way he's been playing, why can't Dak? If Dak is as good as everybody says he is, why can't he perform but Cooper Rush can't?
Okay, so
Genuinely
Dak
give me
has
this
outperformed Cooper Rush statistically.
Then why is he not winning, Jake?
Because there's a thing
How
called
is
defense, and it let them down against the Packers.
Yes.
There's this little thing called defense,
Yes.
Kyle. It's a team game.
Is it?
And
Yes.
it
Yes.
is. Yes, it
As
is.
a matter of
Kyle.
It
fact,
is the whole team.
As a matter of fact, football is
He is
described as
the-
the ultimate team game. So sit down and shut up.
Okay, I'm almost done. Just keep talking.
Yeah. One thing
I'm not even like joking though. That's the thing. Go
Yeah,
Steve.
that's the problem,
But-
Kyle.
I think what we should talk about
Take
though
the
is
Knicks hat off.
Yeah, get out of here, Kyle.
It's
but-
brand new. Look at
One
it.
thing we
It is
should
nice, I like
one thing we should talk about though is the Buccaneers. Are they coming back? Are they making a comeback
I
here?
mean-
No,
I've
they're gonna be
bro.
7-10, win the division. It's annoying.
Kyle, no. I literally told y'all to not count Tom Brady out, and the Bucks would figure it
Mhm.
out. They have a new head coach. They're trying to figure things out. They've been hurt. They're finally fully healthy. Like, give the Bucks time. They're gonna be perfectly fine. They'll go 10-7, 11-6, make the playoffs as a 3 or 4 seed, and then you know how dangerous Tom Brady can be in the playoffs. End of story.
And now you have Brady
He's pissed.
going through.
He's
The
pissed.
divorce is done because Giselle's already moved on, and I'm sure he's not happy about that.
Okay, that was a false story.
To be fair, she probably moved on before the divorce was even finalized. I'm not like.
Okay,
she
don't
was
say
good
don't
at
say
running
that.
around.
No,
was-
this
don't
well,
say
this
that.
divorce definitely. One thing is, this divorce has definitely been going on longer than when they hired their attorneys. That's the
Yeah.
only thing.
Jake, I'm not even trying to like speculate. Like I'm just looking at like the evidence in the past couple of years and the drama that has been surrounding Brady and his potential retirement. It's been looming over him and his fan bases of whatever team he's played for the past 5-6 years.
It really
It
has.
had.
It really
Yes,
has.
it had. They've been talking about his retirement since before they won the Super Bowl in 2014. They
Yeah,
were
which was
talking about
absolutely
it then.
ridiculous. Everybody knew Tom Brady wasn't retiring. Anybody who speculated that was just
No.
looking for a headline.
Yes, I agree, but I'm just
It was
saying
just
there was
Max
a
Kellerman
reason.
saying he was going to fall off a cliff.
We're
There was
done.
the
I
reason
finished.
there was the headline.
Okay,
alright.
Nick,
Well,
let's
but
go.
let's-
Besides
Okay.
Kyle accusing Giselle Bundchen of cheating on Tom Brady, Nick, let's go.
That's not what I said. Well,
That's
now
what
you're
you
putting
said,
words
dog.
In,
That's
now you're
what you
putting words
said.
in my mouth.
Okay.
That is not.
This
what
isn't
I
the most
said.
ideal way to do this, but it's the only way that I could figure out a way to do it. So we're gonna go ahead and do an actual
Oh.
1 to 32
Ooh.
power rankings.
Oh.
What is that logo for the Colts?
Hey, whoa, that's their cool logo. Chill out.
What's the Buccaneers logo? Oh my gosh,
That's their
this looks
alt
so
logo.
awful.
No, it's
Whoa, why are
wonderful.
we
It's their
being
shit
mean
logo.
right now?
No, that's not awful. Get out of here.
Bro.
That's their actual shit.
All right,
man.
let's start off here. And be honest with ourselves. Who's the worst team in the league?
Probably the
the
Texans.
Eagles. No, I'm just kidding.
Giants,
Probably the
Stop it.
Texans.
No, probably the Texans. No,
Texans,
Texans.
The Texans and the Raiders have to be two of the worst, but I'm gonna go with Texans there.
Texans.
I don't think the Raiders are bottom 3. I'll be honest.
I definitely do, considering they have a top 3 pick in the NFL draft right now.
Yeah, I don't think overall they will finish that. Is what I'm saying. I'll say they're bottom 5, but we're not there yet.
All right, well, who's the second worst team in the NFL, Kyle? Come on.
Jaguars.
I think
I
that-
don't
I
know
think,
about that.
I think
No.
it's something else there, bud.
I would put like the.
Oh wait, it's the Steelers. It's absolutely the Steelers.
yeah, Steelers.
Okay, I'll agree with that.
Absolutely the
No,
Steelers at
fine.
31.
They were going to be my 30 team, so I'll agree with that. That's fine.
Steeler, and then throw the Panthers in there too.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Panthers
no,
are the bottom
Panthers.
3.
All right,
Okay,
I'll
that's
agree with
fine.
that next.
Uh,
Then the Jaguars.
I would put the
Jaguars
Raiders
are
below the
37.
Jaguars. I would 100%
Yes.
put the Raiders below the
They are
Jaguars.
not.
I disagree, but I understand why you're saying it, but I still disagree.
Listen,
Okay,
I'm
Kyle.
looking at
I'm
their
being
records, and I think Doug Peterson absolutely outcoaches Josh McDaniels if they ever played. That's the only thing that comes down to.
I
Yeah.
was looking at their roster too, though, and the Raiders
Um,
should. The Raiders should. I'm not saying they have because they obviously haven't performed with them.
Well, that's
as
the power
roster
rankings. This
stands.
isn't where they should be. This is where they are. This is the power.
I'm gonna go with the Lions or the Bears here at 27. Does anybody
I'm
disagree
definitely
with
going
that?
Lions. The Lions are definitely worse than the Bears, in my opinion.
I would go.
I'd say the Saints next.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah, Saints. I like the Saints there
Wait
too.
a minute. Wait. Do the Saints go below the
found
Jags and the
it.
Lions here? I'm genuine question.
Yes, actually, yes. I think the Saints should go. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Broncos
Bears?
being awful. The Bears and the Broncos are both awful.
The Bears are worse. The Bears are worse.
The Bears are worse than the Broncos.
Bears
Yes,
are worse.
because the Broncos definitely have a much better defense than the Bears.
I know you love Justin Fields, and rightfully
Well,
so. He's
no, I'm
played
just
amazing lately.
I'm looking at
I'm just saying.
recent memory in the last 3 weeks. I've seen the Bears outplay the Broncos. That's what I'm looking at.
I mean, I think they can flip flop, but I think 24-25 is a good spot for them. I don't think it
Yeah.
matters. I think if they play each other, I like the Broncos' chances better because of their run defense.
At this
Um,
moment, I'm putting Broncos below Bears. There's no reason for the Bears to be lower than them at this moment.
yeah,
There
like
really isn't.
what is making you guys put the Broncos beside? Like, I get it, defense has been really good, but if their offense put
That's
up
why.
18 points a game, they'd be 8-1. Their
Yeah,
offense is that bad.
No, I get their offense has been bad, but their defense is what's been keeping them alive. And the defense and their run defense, as Steve said, is what would shut the Bears down. Since the Bears mostly offense is majority run game, whether it's
Okay,
Justin
no.
Fields running like a toddler or it's David Montgomery.
Okay, no,
Right.
Kyler Murray runs like a toddler. Justin Fields runs like
Yes,
a grown
that's
ass
it.
adult.
Yes,
Correct.
Kyler Murray
no.
is a toddler.
So you're talking contemporary run defense. Justin Fields is not a contemporary run defense where he scrambles and moves around in the pocket and breaks. It's different. It's absolutely different. But again, there is nothing that I see from the Broncos that makes them better than the Bears have played for the last 3 weeks. Zero.
I mean, they couldn't even they barely put up 10 points on Sunday. So yeah, I can't put the Broncos high.
The Rams.
you know what? I could see we could flip the Broncos and the Bears. I'd be okay with that. Yeah,
I
because
would-
they have definitely put up a lot more points than the Broncos have all season.
Okay. The next tier of teams would be the Packers, the Rams, and the Cardinals, right? Like that would be. The
Well,
next
don't
tier.
forget the
Falcons.
Falcons.
Oh, the
Falcons have to be
too.
23.
Okay.
Falcons are
I
good.
do think the Rams are below the Falcons, though. The Rams have
Yeah.
not been,
Actually, yeah,
the Rams
without-
have not been playing well.
Oh my gosh, the Rams actually without Cooper Kupp could be even lower.
And
yeah,
Matt
but
Stafford.
yeah. So actually, the Rams. Oh gosh, I forgot the Rams.
Rams are below the Falcons. I don't think they're below the Broncos or Bears yet. I think they can be,
Yeah.
but I don't think they're there yet. But I do think they're below the Falcons.
Okay. Then you've got what? Oh, the Commanders. are
Washington.
down too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be like that.
The
So
Packers
let's have the
and
next tier of teams.
so you've got the Packers and
Browns?
the Cardinals.
What about
And the Browns.
Oh,
Cardinals
the
have
Colts
to go
too.
next.
Boys, we forgot about the Colts.
I wasn't getting there with them yet.
No, they're a little higher.
I think
You
they're
think they're
higher?
higher?
to be honest. Yeah.
I like Colts are definitely like a 19 place team because I think right below them should be the Browns.
And the Packers.
Browns
The
are-
Browns, the
The Packers
Packers.
are lucky.
Yeah.
The Packers should not have won. They're lucky. So that's like
Okay.
their record is deceiving. They should be 3-7, not 4-6.
Okay. Nick, can you scroll up?
I wouldn't say the Packers are that good. I mean, that bad.
So
Because they could have won a couple of their other games and probably should have.
let's take a look at this real quick,
Yeah, but
right?
they didn't.
So are the Browns, the Packers, and or the Cardinals better than the teams that we have ranked right there?
Yes.
Mm,
I think the Colts should be above the Packers.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Really?
I really.
That feels aggressive. I feel like the Packers have been.
Actually, I would
Oh, they
honestly.
lost
I
5 in a
think
row, actually. Now that I think about it.
I
They
would
won.
put the Colts above the Packers, only they have a they definitely with Matt Ryan back. I do like their pass attack more.
What is the world coming to? I'm defending the Packers. My life. Is,
Listen,
my
I'm
life is
fine
in
with putting them
shambles.
at 19. I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
I just think it's a deceiving record, but that's fine. If you guys want to put,
I do agree it's a deceiving record, but I don't think the Colts are better than them.
okay, then put the Packers there. I'm fine with it. I'm
Okay.
genuinely just trying to talk about it.
No,
Yeah.
it's just fair. I agree. It's worth the
Okay,
discussion.
Packers at 19. Are the Cardinals better than the Packers? Are the Browns better
Yes.
than the fucking Packers?
They,
Are the
I
Browns
give
better
them a
than the
chance
fucking
with.
Colts?
No, probably not. To be honest.
Okay.
That's a good.
Move the Colts up 1, put the Browns at 20, put the Packers at 18, put the Cardinals at 17. Is that what we're gonna go
That
with?
sounds good to me.
That's fair.
That's good with
Is it
me.
working for you guys? Are we good? Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
I
No.
can't. Hold on.
I cannot.
Hold on. It's rebuffering.
Yeah, my Discord busted a little bit. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna disconnect, come back. My
Okay,
Discord
come
busted.
through.
All right, guys. As you saw, Nick is officially leaving the podcast. We are very
Oh
sad. to
my
see him
goodness.
go.
We're back.
Ooh.
Welcome
let me
back
tell
to
you
the
exactly why the Eagles are actually the worst team in the NFL.
No,
The
Austin, shut up.
Texans,
Get out
the
of here.
Texans beat the Jaguars. The Jaguars beat the Colts. The Colts beat the Raiders. The Raiders beat the Broncos. The Broncos beat the 49ers. The 49ers beat the Seahawks. The Seahawks beat the Lions. The Lions beat the Commanders. And the Commanders beat the Eagles. Therefore, they are the worst team in the NFL.
That's just so funny. Okay, Cardinals above the Colts. Got it. Whatever it is, that's fine.
And also, therefore, the Texans are the best team in the NFL.
Oh man. Okay,
So,
this
Nick,
is where this is
please-
gonna get muddy.
Please swap the Eagles and the Texans, right?
Don't do that. Don't actually do that. Oh no, here we go.
Stop.
Here we go.
Yeah! No!
Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm dead. Okay.
Our viewers gonna be like, why are they allowed to talk about football at all?
like the
If our
Chargers have
viewers,
to be
if
at, like,
our viewers
16,
cannot
right?
see the
Um,
amount of 34D chess we're playing here, how smart, that's on them. I mean, we're just-
so when it comes to the Patriots, I mean, I would put them somewhere in that tier that you just put the Chargers at.
Yes, only because some of their big wins, they had a lot more field goals and touchdowns.
I'd also put them like right here.
I think that looks good to me. I think they're a team that can compete with anybody, but can also lose to absolutely anybody. So
Yes.
I think the Niners are next.
No,
or Bucks.
Niners are
Or
higher.
Bucks. Niners or Bucks.
Scroll down. I need to see the teams that are left. You got the
Titans.
Bengals, the Titans. I
Niners, Bucks, or Titans.
We still have the
Niners, Bucks, or
Seahawks
Titans.
here. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. They just lost to the Bucks.
Yes.
I think the Bucks have to be put above the Seahawks at this point. So,
Yes, they should.
Seahawks,
Especially at this point. Yeah.
Seahawks, 49ers, Bucks. Is that how we're gonna go with that?
Yes. I like that.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I can do that.
Like, I think the
I'll accept-
49ers are better
I'll
than the
accept
Seahawks.
that consensus.
Yeah.
What?
I don't mind. I don't mind it.
How the
The
fuck
Jets
did...
have to be next. Right?
Yeah, the Jets have to be fucking next. As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
I would drop the Jets below the Bucks, but that's just me. I don't think anybody else is gonna agree.
No.
Yes, I would
The
too.
Jets
I
have
would
played
too.
really well.
I would because the Bucks have a higher offensive potential. And in this league, if you have a
I'm
chance to be a better
confused.
offense,
There must be teams missing or something, bud, because I
Nope.
do not have 9 teams.
The Bengals and the Ravens are the next two, I believe.
No, the Giants are the next team.
Bro,
Yes.
they're 7 and 2. They got to be higher on the
No.
list.
they gotta be top
Come
five.
on,
I don't care
Bro,
what you
they're
say.
7 and
Cowboys-
2. You can't even.
No. Next.
I'm putting the Giants above the I'm putting like the
And the
Cowboys.
Ravens.
No, Cowboys and Ravens are like barely in the top 10. Put the Bengals above the Cowboys. I'm taking the Bengals over the Cowboys.
I'm not.
I'm not. No.
It's
not-
unfortunate that you guys haven't watched any football this season. Then, all right.
That's
So the
Unfortunately-
Dolphins.
Unfortunately, we had to watch you.
Wait, what? No. Hold on.
Oh!
The fucking Ravens are still on the board. The Ravens are going in that slot the Dolphins are in. Absolutely.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, put the Cowboys above the fucking Ravens. What? What is going on here?
I don't know about that one.
I
Yeah,
do.
no, that's
They're better
No,
than
that's
the
very
Bengals
true.
for sure, but I don't know.
Ravens are better than the Bengals, but I think the Ravens are better than the Cowboys.
I
No.
don't necessarily
I
agree,
would
but that's
swap.
fine.
Oh, I was wondering why we're missing
was-
things because this is up here.
What are you doing? That's correct.
Eagles.
My
I like
goodness.
Eagles.
Eagles
I
are
like
two.
two. Yes.
Eagles are two.
The
Nah,
Vikings.
you guys don't know football.
The Chiefs at 1, the Vikings at 3, the Bills at
No,
4. Yes.
No,
Yes.
wait, hold on.
Oh,
Vikings
That's how it
won.
should be. The Vikings beat
No,
the Eagles.
Vikings-
Power
Vikings
rankings.
won.
The Eagles already beat the Vikings.
Yeah.
Back.
They just played last night. Wait, no. The Vikings just beat the Eagles.
No, the Vikings beat the Bills.
No,
no,
Eagles
the
destroyed
Vikings-
Eagles beat the Vikings. Like what?
Okay,
Week
then
3 or
that's it
4?
right there.
Something
No,
like
no, no,
that.
no, no, no,
So,
no, no.
Your first
No.
group, unfortunately, is Kansas City, the Eagles, Vikings, Bills, and then the Giants.
I do not agree. I think Vikings are better.
I think Vikings are one. I genuinely believe that. I
With
know
how
the
The
Eagles
Chiefs are
won.
definitely one, but I will fight
I-
hand for that.
I do not believe.
I think the top 3 are interchangeable. To be honest, I don't think there's
Listen,
that much, but
it comes down to who I think if they played today, who would beat who. The Eagles would beat the Vikings, and the Chiefs would beat both of them. That's really where I'm going to be with that.
I genuinely don't think the Chiefs would beat the Vikings.
I think the Chiefs would absolutely annihilate the Vikings.
No, I don't. I don't think
don't
so.
believe
Not with those pass catchers.
No, the
That's a
Bills-
secondary
the Bills
that the
beat the
Vikings
Chiefs,
can obliterate.
and the Vikings beat the Bills, so we
No,
already know what I'm.
here's the thing with the top. Here's the thing with the top 4. I mean, the Giants are only up there because of record, but the top 4, any team has the ability to beat the other. It's just it depends on where the field is
And
and
given
what the
Sunday.
weather is, and they all have the ability to beat each other because the Chiefs can lose any one of those teams because their secondary can't defend anything. But the Eagles can definitely beat the Chiefs because they have a great secondary. But the the Vikings can beat. I mean, we saw they beat the Bills, that kind of stuff. But they also could beat the Chiefs because, again, they have a great receiving core, they have a great running back, and they have a defense that if they can double Travis Kelce, they might be able to get the one-on-one matchups they need because they also have a very good linebacker. So either way, they all could beat each other, but they all can lose to each other. It's very even, I think, with all these teams.
For
Well,
me, it comes.
anyway. I think the Giants lose to all 4 of these teams.
Yes,
and
for-
I'm not saying that because they're I just think that they're worse
I-
than 4 of these teams, not by a lot, but they
For
are.
me, it comes down to
I'm
coaching.
not disagreeing. I'm not trying to argue the Giants are going to above, but I'm just saying.
He gone. He back.
No, for me, it comes down to the coaches. I think Andy Reid beats Nick Sirianni and
Guys,
Kevin
again,
O'Connell.
we're sorry that
Um,
Nick is unfortunately on the podcast anymore.
Bro.
Yeah, this has been
Nick has been
rough.
fired.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. But anyways, that's our tier list. The first group of there. Our second group is Dolphins, Cowboys, Ravens, Bengals, Titans, which I think is fair. Our third group, you could consider the Jets, Bucks, 49ers, Seahawks, and Patriots with your fourth grade. And that's essentially your playoffs teams right there if you include the Chargers. And after that, you get kind of the teams that are a little bit struggling right now or a lot struggling. So that sounds good. I can't really send you screenshots to that one.
That's
Jake,
fine.
so
It's all
long.
good.
So, how's that sound? Anyone else have anything else to talk about today?
I'm good.
No.
Well, other than JT Miller scoring, which was my greatest free agency pickup of the whole hockey season, it was a pleasure hanging out with you all today for episode 38. We had a good time as we always do, and we will make sure to see you guys next week. Definitely go and check those socials. Definitely Twitter. Jake's still going strong with that. Instagram goes strong, especially hard on the weekends, as we all do at Plymouth State. And then,
Whoa, bro, we're not in college anymore, dude. We're
Definitely-
taking Tums and going to sleep after eating a chili dog. I don't know about you.
If you're taking Tums, you need to get that checked out, dog.
yeah. Go in.
It was
and
for
then,
a joke. Don't worry. I still eat hot
last
sauce.
piece
Okay.
is definitely make sure to go check out those videos we've been doing. We're doing videos on specific subjects outside of our normal podcast, so please make sure to go and check those out. Jake's been really pumping those out. We've all been kind of trying to join in and do them as well. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. We will see you next week.
I hate fantasy football.
No, you don't.
Be kind to someone.
No, I don't want to be nice anymore.